I'm Doug Jackson, founding attorney of the law firm of Douglas G. Jackson. We're here today with our new program, Business Education Network Interviews, or BENIs as I like to call them. We know that businesses need a team of professionals, not just attorneys, to grow their business. So on these interviews, we interview other professionals, usually outside of your industry, so you can learn more and see if they can help you grow your business. We're here today with Daniel Mastrodonato of Landmark Payroll. Daniel, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, Doug, thank you so much for having me today.
All right, Daniel, will you tell us a little bit more about yourself so our guests can get to know you a little bit better, or our viewers rather can get to know you a little better?
Absolutely. Again, Daniel Mastrodonato. Like to drop a little bit of humor into this. That last name is a painful last name, but it actually has a meaning that's near and dear to my heart. And the last name represents master of money in Italian. So 23 years working with small businesses and their payroll. And prior to that, 21 years as a commercial banker. So I've been entrenched in the business world for many, many years.
Now, that's a perfect last name. I mean, I had to practice it a couple times to say it, but I will say anytime I see Mastrodonato, I know who we're talking about. So, and now that I know the meaning, it's even better.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Daniel, you work at Landmark Payroll. You offer payroll solutions to, all kinds of businesses, including small businesses. Can you tell us a little bit more about Landmark Payroll and your experiences with Landmark?
Yeah, absolutely. So Landmark Payroll is a relatively new payroll company in relation to our competitors, and most of us know who our larger competitors are. We've been around since 2014, okay? But we do have quite a number of clients across the United States. We are a smaller national payroll company. What sets us apart from the competitors are a few organic things, such as customer service. We're probably one of the few payroll companies that still embrace true customer service, where your client or my client would have access to me and a team of dedicated professionals through the entire relationship. So we do, in addition to many other wonderful attributes of the company, provide outstanding customer service.
That's fantastic. I feel like not a lot of payroll companies actually have a relationship with their clients or even really communicate.
Yeah, we are. So my industry has been known as a transactional industry for years. There's a few industries out there that may be more transactional, but payroll has always been known as, thank you so much, sir, for your business. Sir or ma'am, thank you for your business. I'll be back to see you. And then all of a sudden, you never hear from me again. Well, that's not how we are at Landmark. And that's not how I have been really for the last 23 years. I've stayed very, very close to my clients because, Doug, we all know that if you have a happy client, there's an opportunity that they may refer business to you. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, one of the things we talk about and then is how to structure businesses. And a lot of times I see businesses structured with an S-Corp tax election. And basically what that means is that the owner has to be an employee of the business and has to pay himself or herself a reasonable wage. So how, with these small businesses where maybe it's just a single person, a solopreneur, how can a payroll company help them in that scenario?
Well, we become an extension of their business, number one. My goal when working with a sole proprietor, a small mom and pop, all the way up to a multi-employee company, is to allow the business owner time to work on their business and simply not in their business. So we actually become an extension of their business, their payroll department, their HR department. We take all the burden of payroll off of the employer's shoulder, okay, and we place it on our shoulders. We work closely with their CPAs and their financial advisors to help determine a salary for the individuals. And then, of course, as that business continues to add employees, we work closely with the business owner on helping them determine, a fair wage. But really what we become, Doug, is we become an extension of that individual's business, and by being their outsourced payroll department.
So, like you implied earlier, it's really a collaborative process.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, we never do it alone. We work closely again with the client's CPA, the client's financial advisor, even their their business coach, their business attorney, such as yourself, to determine really the right course of action for them.
Okay. So, I know you work with businesses of different sizes, but the small businesses in particular are oftentimes worried about costs, understandably
Correct.
so. So, how is Landmark Payroll affordable for these small businesses?
The myth out there is that payroll is expensive. Payroll is not expensive. What becomes expensive when someone is either outsourcing or not using an outsourced payroll company such as Landmark is the risk of making a mistake. Generally, mistakes happen when it comes to paying taxes. There's so many taxes that payroll companies pay on behalf of the employer and their employees. But when it comes to sole entrepreneur, that individual, does pay business taxes along with personal taxes. We help them with that. A cost of making a mistake when paying a quarterly tax or a 941, as we call it, could be so much more than the yearly cost of payroll. So really it's pennies a day for that business owner to hire an outsourced payroll company such as Landmark Payroll. But the beauty of it as well is they get another tax write-off. So the cost of payroll is a tax write-off at the end of the year. So,
All right. Well, what's that old saying? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
absolutely, absolutely. And I want to be that pound of cure for them.
I appreciate that. As a lawyer, I think the same way. All right. So now most of us have gotten a paycheck. We've worked for others, and if you're an S-Corp, you're going to get yourself a paycheck as well. And on these paychecks, there's all these deductions, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, most business owners, we're not tax professionals. We don't necessarily know what these deductions are going. Does Landmark Payroll take care of all that? And what do they withhold?
Yeah, we do. We do a complete analysis of the payroll, the company's internal structure, whatever states that business is operating in. We will take care of all taxes. A lot of acronyms will be flying around here, but FUTA, FICA, SUTA, FUTA, all of those. And basically, what that is federal taxes, state taxes, county taxes, personal taxes, depending on where you work and the jurisdiction that you're in, will determine the tax structure. We take care of all of that. We actually remove that liability from the business owner and we place it upon Landmark Payroll through what's called a power of attorney. And that power of attorney allows us to act on their behalf for any taxable wages. Oh, the other two taxes that come out are Social Security and Medicare. Those are given. They have to come out of every single person's payroll up to a certain age, but we can talk about that part later.
All right. So you take the responsibility. I mean, you take a lot of the liability for your clients. Is that what you said?
100%. Yep, 100%.
Oh, that's incredible. I mean, and that makes sure that you're doing what you say you're going to do, right? I mean,
Well,
if you've got that liability, it ensures that you are keeping a crisp and tight ship, as they say.
Exactly. And like I was saying earlier too, and we work so closely with the CPAs that we are able to provide the CPAs with clean, crisp, 941s or quarterly tax returns, so that makes their particular job a little bit easier when filing those returns for them.
Okay. All right. Well, Daniel, in law, I've seen a lot of crazy scenarios, and I imagine in payroll you have too. I anticipate, and tell me if I'm wrong, that a lot of small businesses, before they come to you, they probably try to do their own payroll. What's the craziest thing? What's the biggest problem you've seen from a small business that tried to do its own payroll?
Well, I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you or a business owner fails to pay the IRS one day, if you're one day late on what's called a quarterly tax filing or a 941, there's anywhere between a $500 and $700 charge or penalty that's imposed on that business owner. So again, it is part of our responsibility, okay, on the duties that we accept to make certain that those taxes are paid, expeditiously on time every single time. Because the one thing that we do not want to do is we don't want to upset the IRS, and we don't want our clients to have to worry about that. So we take that burden away from them.
So you said earlier that you take the liability on for the client. So if let's say we were to hire Landmark Payroll and you were a day late, you would then pay that fine or penalty?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Generally what we do, the first couple of infractions, we get those fees abated or technically wiped out, but we work directly with the IRS so that you do not have to.
Oh, that's fantastic, because I'm a lawyer and I don't even like working with the IRS. So
Right. I don't blame you one bit.
All right.
Many people do.
Well, I don't imagine you do either, but that's what you get paid for.
We try to always stay on the good side of the IRS. Always.
Smart move.
Yeah.
All right. We've kind of talked about this, but I want to kind of wrap it up, or sum it up rather. What's the number one reason a small business should use a payroll company like Landmark Payroll, for instance?
I had mentioned this earlier, and I'm a firm believer in it, is if a small business has the means to outsource as much as they can so that they're not constantly working in that business, we try to, again, help that business owner work on the business and grow that business. So being an extension of that small business is something that we pride ourselves on. We love to be the outsourced payroll department, their outsourced HR department, so to say, for that business, allowing them the freedom and the time to do the things that they're most productive doing, and that's growing their business.
All right, Daniel, in case our viewers want to learn more about you or want more information, it seems like you have a just wealth of knowledge. Or if they want to learn more about Landmark Payroll, how would they go about getting in touch with you or learning more about Landmark Payroll?
Yeah, Doug, the number one way to get in touch with me is to call me directly. My telephone number is 727-455-8547, or they can email me at daniel@landmarkpayroll.com, and I have a rule to respond within 24 hours, but I've also been known to respond immediately. So I think that might be my little claim to fame, is that I jump on a scenario immediately for my clients.
All right. Well, we'll be back next time with more professionals who can teach you how to grow your business. Daniel, thank you so much for coming on.
Doug, thank you so much for having me, and have an absolutely wonderful day.